What's going on, Beaches? Welcome to the Daily Swole podcast. Today's Swole Fam Spotlight is from Renarius. Welcome, everyone, to episode 2692. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button right away when you come on into the live stream. We are about to get started. Renarius writes, shared story on the main page, but here it goes again. After finally taking back control of my health several years ago, I've always been on the lookout for ways to improve. Back in October, I was starting a new lifting program, which still working on that's not even English. Back in October, I was starting a new lifting program. To help a friend was about the time I hit a snag. With starting said program, I was eating healthy. It just didn't seem optimal for me. I watched episode 1209 and started watching ever since. The reason was the concept of the elimination diet that intrigued me. By implementing the concept and listening to the Daily Swole ever since, this last week, finally upgraded to unlimited, and I'm now enjoying the brain gains and incorporating the yoga studio after lifting sessions. To date, I've lost and kept off over 70 pounds, and I'm enjoying life to the fullest. The biggest thing that people can take from me is the ability to set down your substance abuse for good. We're going to get you some gorillas there, Renarius. Awesome post. Absolutely. The only substance abuse you need is a big old juicy steak and a gym membership. That's what I'm talking about. And the elimination diet is absolutely a game changer. Once you realize how important food is and how it impacts you, it will change your life. It'll change everything you thought you knew about what you were eating. Most people just mindlessly eat. They're hungry, so they eat something that they feel like having, and they turn into the next drive-through. Oh, I'm hungry. What's that smell? Ooh, there's a KFC. Let's go there. They just eat whatever they fucking want to. They're just going from one impulse and one addiction to the next. And they wonder why they feel like shit. They wonder why they can't see their dick or their clit. They wonder why they can't touch their toes. They just trash themselves. Straight up. So once you learn how impactful food is, it changes your life. I recommend the elimination diet to everyone. Everyone. Of course, you talk to your doctor, but probably your doctor's not going to know what the fucking elimination diet is. They don't even know what a fucking steak is. Don't eat steak. It's bad for your heart. Anyway, an elimination diet is a fantastic way for the individual to customize their nutrition, to isolate what foods work best for them. So I encourage you to do it. If you've done an elimination diet, drop in the comments down below and your experiences. What foods did you find out that fucked your world or rocked your world? Very interested to read your responses once we kick off this live stream. Come one, come all. What's up, Green Trolley? Karen, Loretta, Phoenix, Cerny, Logan. Let's get into today's episode. It's Tuesday, September the 19th. Make sure you join the fam, join Renarius, myself, and all of these amazing people in the live chat over at swolenormousx.com. It is Tuesday, and we are kicking it off after an amazing accountability meeting yesterday. That meeting is available now in Swole TV if you missed it. Awesome new releases. We'll talk about some of that stuff. We'll talk about the Swole Fam Project. We'll talk about a couple things that we have going on once we get the show started. So without further ado, episode 2692. The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Lie back down.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
The
sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to
to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome, everyone, to episode 26 hundo and schneide dose of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustles, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is sponsored by Everson K2, flexing on all you
Fucking Catalina wine.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
The fucking Catalina wine mixer.
All right, fam, welcome to the show. Yeah, you like that intro, Logan? New intros fucking fire. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, fam. We have a lot of people watching, and we do not have enough thumbs up. Gingerly touch my tip. Give me a little tickle, and hit that thumbs up. It makes me a little tickle. Hit the thumbs up. It makes me giggle. It makes me giggle. Tickles the taint. So hit that thumbs up button, watching on YouTube. And of course, subscribe to the show, Daily Swole, available everywhere. Make sure you subscribe to the Daily Swole and send it around to your friends and family. We are coming off an accountability meeting yesterday, which was fantastic. And we made a big announcement we'll talk about a couple times during today's episode. But make sure Swole Fam members head on into the Facebook group and submit for the Swole Fam Project. Legit. Straight legit. So submit your story in the pinned post in the Facebook group. Go in there. It's right there at the top. We have relaunched the Swole Fam Project. All the details over there, and we talked about it yesterday. It's fantastic. So all your stories of how you came across the Swole Fam, your experiences, your progress, your trials and tribulations, progress pics, if you wish to submit them, definitely head into the Facebook group and submit your story for the Swole Fam Project. Very excited for that. We'll be talking about it a lot, like right now, and a lot. We're going to be talking about it all the time. So get on that Swole Fam Project. I am looking forward to it. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on filling that out. So go and enter your story in the Swole Fam Project. Top of the Facebook group, pinned in the announcements. Okie dokie. So now let's get into today's episode. We'll summon the Falcon and get today's party started. We also dropped some new merch. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But first, let's bust the nut open. Drop in the comments, what are you smashing today? If you smashed already, early bird catches the sick fucking gains. What'd you smash? Drop that in the comments. And let's summon the Falcon. Falcon. Yes, sir. All right, hashtag get swole. 1 second, I gotta close something for a second so we don't glitch out. All right, hashtag get swole for a chance to win today's swole card. We'll give that away at the end of today's episode. All right, let me move this. Take 2 minutes. Cool. All right, hashtag get swole. We love that. It's a great card. Okie dokie. Now, let's see what we got. Also, this Thursday, we have a Swole Fam Roundtable 52, Thursday, September the 21st. That is day after tomorrow. Episode will be private for members only, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so be there for that. If you are not there, you will miss out on the live conversation. Don't want to miss out on that. And of course, in just 8 days, we have the P3S8 launch, the 8th signature series, 9/27/23 for 24 hours only over there at swolenormousx.com/signature. It's coming. 8 days away. Pooah. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, first Swole fan post is from Carrie, and Carrie writes, first workout in months, no equipment, no gym membership, but I've got a lot of body weight that can be moved around, so I'm going to make do with what I've got. I'm using an 8-week at-home workout program, and I'm going to crush it. Been struggling with eating well, but today is a new day. I'm going to make it count. I'm not waiting for Monday on this one. Happy Sunday, fam. I love the mindset. Do not wait for Monday. Never wait for Monday. You are just making a bullshit excuse because you don't want to start today, but I think you should. All right. Love this post too. Hey, y'all, from Leslie. Just joined the Swole fam after listening to the podcast for about a month. Just wanted to introduce myself. I'm a travel nurse that drives a Jeep Wrangler.
Wow.
And I felt personally attacked the other night listening to the podcast. I almost spit out my drink. After being called out, the next day I was working and had to physically pick up my patient out of her bed and put her in a wheelchair. I picked up a little grandma like she was my 6-year-old. Realizing afterwards what I had just done, it boosted my confidence and made me want to go harder on my fitness and nutrition to get even stronger. So here I am. Here's my fitness life story. I've been overweight to obese my whole life, always loved fitness, and had an ebb and flow type pattern with training. At one point in my life, I regularly attended the gym, trained, and ran half a marathon, and even became certified as a spin instructor. Then life happened, had my first kid, my weight ballooned, and I had an awakening. My husband and I did keto, and we both lost a ton of weight. He lost 100 pounds, I lost 50 pounds. Fast forward a couple of years, COVID happens. My gym where I taught spin classes closes permanently, and my bad habits crept back in, and I gained 20 pounds. Over the last 2 years, my weight has still been up and down with different fitness programs and diet programs, plus I had another kid. This past March was my breaking point. Saw a picture of myself at my son's first birthday party, and my face looked so fat and my neck and jawline had morphed into one. Plus, my weight was the highest it's ever been at 247 pounds. Ever since that moment, I've put great effort into exercising and trying to be the healthiest version of me for my husband and kids, and to be a better example for my patients. I mean, I preach health to my patients. I better not be a hypocrite. I've already lost 15 pounds. Now my friends and coworkers refer to me as the gym goer and the fit one. Even though I'm very much still a work in progress, my hopes in joining the Swole fam is to have more community, support in my exercising, as well as my nutrition, which is definitely my weakest link. Thanks for all y'all do, and I'm so happy to have finally joined. And we love it. And I guess you felt personally called out because I said, what, nurses drive Jeep Wranglers and have tattoo sleeves? You don't have any tattoo sleeves. I think Leslie's probably, are you about to get a tattoo? Are you about to get a tattoo? I think that was the other episode the other day when I said that nurses drive Wranglers and have arm sleeve tattoos. So awesome to have you, Leslie. Obviously, you have a great sense of humor, and we love the smile. We love the gains. And yeah, you are the fit one in your hospital. It's time to get everyone else. So you're not just the fit one. Everyone goes to the gym, right? Leslie's got to be infecting, so to speak, all the other nurses there. That way you're all the fit one. But I like it. I love it. It's got to start with one. It's got to start with one person, right? One person's got to be the one that kind of kicks it off. So now Leslie's going to be bringing in good food. She's not going to be partaking in the donuts and all the sugary stuff that nurses are eating on long shifts or if you're doing overnights and stuff like that. Yeah. Anyway, so that's awesome. That's awesome. You could spread the gospel of sick fucking gains in the 7 pillars in your hospital. Margaret, in our What's a Bisha section on the discussion board. Hi all, my name is Margaret. I'm from Colombia and live in the United States. 26 years old and have struggled with excess weight for most of my life, dealing with clinical depression as well, but doing much better. Looking forward to changing my habits, nutrition, and taking my health more serious. Absolutely love it. And looking forward to hearing about your nutrition and all the things that you're going to be changing. That will be dramatic And I'm wondering where you live in the United States. Get some more sunlight, set those good habits, remove all the ills from your life, the people that you're spending time with that are dragging you down. Let's get you on the up and up. Stoked to have you. All right. That being said, it is time to get into some questions. We will be sending out more emails. So if you're not on the email list, get stretched out with the Knowledge Cock in your inbox. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com. Again, makeemailswoleagain.com and get on the email list. But we're going to get right into some questions. We'll probably flag the copyright again, but fuck it. All right. I don't give a shit. Flag that. Flag it. Flag the copyright. We'll do it again. Flag it. I'll edit the sound so I can get it through. It's worth it. I'm not getting ad revenue on this anyway. Who cares? You can own my podcast. Let's get into some questions. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio for those questions. We'll start with Ghost Rider 5576. Ghost Rider says or asks, Papa Swolio, what's a good breakfast idea after a morning workout other than a protein shake? Any food that you like. I mean, I love steak, eggs. After a workout, it's good to get some carbs in. You get some fruit. That's why a protein shake can be beneficial. But of course, a lot of the protein is ultra processed. So personally, I would recommend a third-party tested grass-fed whey protein. A lot of the less processed ones are going to be concentrate, but without all the lecithins and the stabilizers and thinners or mixing agents. So if you're going to do that, you could blend up with some fruit and some honey. So you could do that, or you can have, I like bananas in the morning or bananas around when I'm working out, especially afterwards. Fruit, honey, food, beef, eggs. I think it's fantastic. I think it's fine. Really, all of this is depending on your experience and what works best for you. So if you do an elimination diet, you'll know what foods work best for you, and then you can eat those foods. Do you like more carbohydrates? Do you like a less fatty meal? A lot of people probably, it's better off to not do too much fat after a workout just for aiding the absorption. It might be a little bit easier or heavier on the stomach depending on how much you consume. So if you're eating a big meal right after, it's not for everyone, but you could drop your personal preference for an after workout meal. There's nothing wrong with the shake and then having a more solid meal later on. As long as you're getting in your total calories and your protein and your nutrient-dense foods, you're not consuming garbage, you're getting quality sleep, you can experiment. Some people like to eat something right before. Some people like to train fasted. Everyone's a little bit different. There really is no, like, this is better to do. You can just kick those people in the taint. It's really your personal preference. If you're making progress, doing what you're doing, then it doesn't matter what some bullshit study claims that, oh, synthesis is better at this time. It's a lot of that stuff's just nonsense. You got to figure out what works best for you. I agree. If you haven't tried bull milk, I would probably, how much, I mean, the best amount of bull milk after, why is the questions shrunk? The best amount of bull milk, I would say at least probably 16 ounces of bull milk. And you want to chug it. You want to make sure it gets all over your face. It's just respectful. All right, let's see. Yeah. Oh, I updated my streaming app. There were like, it was an updated version, so there might be a bunch of other things that are like kind of weird or resized. Ortiz, Papa Swolio, would you say, quote, everything in moderation is basically the, quote, just the tip, but with eating junk? I think eating moderation is a cope. That's just a nonsensical thing people say to excuse bad habits. That's really what it is. It's just the framing of it. People that say that, well, everything in moderation, you only live once and do all these things. That has nothing to do with taking care of yourself and making quality choices. People that say everything in moderation are using that as an excuse to not change their habits and to justify poor behavior. So, is it just the tip? I mean, you're putting in the wrong hole. You're putting in the wrong place.
Inconceivable!
Some will say there isn't a wrong one, but for some people there are. And in that case, it's the wrong one. Logan, Papa Swolio, is taking an ice bath multiple times a day more harmful than good, or should it just be in the morning? It doesn't have to be in the morning. I don't do it in the morning anymore. I almost did it today in the morning, but I decided not to. So there really is there's no difference. You can take it first thing in the morning. It depends. For me, my schedule is different. I can customize when I do these things. If you work, let's say 7 to 5, I mean, I personally would I would personally do it first thing in the morning. So it's a whole different thing. For me, I told the story a bunch of times. When my cold plunge broke, I was used to doing it first thing, no excuses. First thing I got up, I do one hard thing in the morning. I actually stopped liking that so much because after when it broke and I didn't have it first thing in the morning, I was used to it. I felt hot. I felt, oh my God, I felt like puffy and I was dragging ass because I was used to having that wake up. So I didn't like the way I felt. I felt like I was depending on it. So now I just do it. I don't necessarily do it every day either. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I haven't done it today. I'm like, whatever. I like keeping a little bit more inconsistent. Also, in terms of any kind of like studies, you don't need to do it every day. It's usually like an X amount per week, which is beneficial. And I usually just do 3 to 5 minutes at a time, usually 3 minutes. And what I also like to do is if I'm doing the show and I'm working out later on today, I'm going to plunge before I work out. So I usually still do the plunge, but I like doing it before I train because it's hot outside and that kind of cold before I work out really helps my endurance. It helps my strength. It's a amazing boost before a workout. I love the cold before I work out. So it doesn't have to be in the morning, multiple times a day. Yeah, of course it could be harmful. I think people that do the cold, most people, or I shouldn't say most people, but a lot of people take things to extremes just because, hey, more is better. It's like working. If I work out for 5 hours, it's better. If I do 50 sets, it's better. You know, if I do the most extreme exercises, balancing on this bench with my arm up in the air and I have bands attached to me everywhere, oh my God, I'm doing more work. A lot of times you're just wasting time and it's a nice circus trick. It looks cool. It's good for Instagram, but it's not really most effective. If you're doing an ice plunge for 40 minutes, you know, some people do these, they have to take it to this ridiculous level where they're just doing 20 minutes and they get out and they're fucking frozen and they're all jacked up. That's not beneficial in my opinion. There's a point where it's just not beneficial. You want it to be I wouldn't say you necessarily want to be uncomfortable, but you want to go until you're, like you want to be doing at least 2 or 3 minutes, in my opinion, depending on the temperature, sometimes longer if it's warmer. But it shouldn't be to the point where, that's why I stopped doing it for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Because sometimes if I'm hot or it's later in the day or I just got out of the sauna, I'll be in there and it's 5 minutes and it's no problem. But if I do 3 minutes, you get that kind of calming effect after 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes is good. I'm not trying to ruin my day. I don't want it to take me half an hour to be functioning again. That's another reason why I didn't want to do it first thing, because sometimes I'll do it and I'm cold and I go out in the sun and it's early in the morning and I want to do the show or I want to do something, and then I'm going to be really cold if I come inside and I'm all wet and I have to dry off. It's just like sometimes I want to get other things started. I just didn't want to anchor my day and depend on that kind of cold. But a cold shower, exposing to cold or splashing water in my face is great. And if you have a steady schedule, I would recommend doing it first thing. So multiple times a day, not required. You can, but again, we've talked about it, how I would say it's probably just not recommended. Most professionals wouldn't recommend plunging right after training. It feels good after a hard workout. It's nice to like ice off, but there's a natural inflammatory response that your body goes through to build muscle. That stimulus, that reaction, that stress that you're putting on your body, that process of responding to that stress is how you're adapting and building muscle and strength. So you don't want to interrupt that. So I never plunge after. I would sauna after a workout, but I don't plunge after a workout. Although if I'm working out and I kind of tweak something or like, ooh, that didn't feel good, maybe I will plunge. I'm not saying it's going to ruin your progress if you plunge after you train, but I do think it's going to compromise it a little bit. You just don't know how much. And that's why I like to do it just before, then first thing in the morning. Plus, if I'm doing it right before my workout, then I'm actually maximizing the time between after my session for the next day's workout to when I get cold exposure again. All right, let's see. Arjun Pawar, Papa Swolio. What are some high protein foods for muscle growth? There are many. Dairy, like raw dairy, lean meats, chicken, fish, eggs. Fantastic. Fantastic foods for, I mean, protein's great. There's incomplete protein, so there's a lot of different opinions on that, but animal proteins are fantastic. It's great to get protein in the morning. I like to have some kefir first thing in the morning. Hey, Genevieve, long time, no swole. Welcome to the show. Lacey, Papa Swole, have you ever done cryotherapy? I have not. I think Mama Swolio got me some kind of like gift certificate at one point, but it expired. It was like a few years ago. Ah, yes, that's right. Matt, you should be shoving an ice cube up your ass every 34 minutes for maximum muscle gains and fat loss. Good to know. Good to know.
Chicks will dig you, or dudes, or whatever gender thing you're into.
Good to know. Michelle from the Telegram chat. I struggle with fatigue mostly in my body, not necessarily sleep. It's been much better since acclimating to eliminating added sugar. Still, some days my legs feel like lead. I'm not seeing any correlation to when I train. I've added creatine, magnesium, grass-fed beef, liver since I was approaching anemia. I suspect I'm approaching menopause. Anything else I can do? I struggle with fatigue, mostly in my body, not necessarily sleep. Well, how long have you been doing this? Acclimating to eliminating added sugar. How long have you been eliminating added sugar? It doesn't happen like in a week or two. So how long has that been? Some days my legs feel like lead. You've added creatine, magnesium. How much magnesium? A month? Oh, so you're still pretty new. That's still withdrawal periods. A month is not long. So, for the elimination diet, we do at least 6 to 8 weeks, which is 2 months. So you felt like shit for a couple weeks. Yeah, well, it's only been a month. So you're still not on the other end of that. And how old are you? So it could be those things. Also, what kind of magnesium are you taking? How much magnesium? When are you taking it? It's just a process. Yeah, I would keep on tweaking, looking into this. Sunlight's important, quality sleep. What other foods you're still eating? You eliminate added sugar. There's a lot of other things in your environment that could be impacting you. We know that. 45. So it could be that too. But definitely high fat. Are you eating enough fat in your diet? We'll have to keep an eye on it, but keeping things as consistent as possible, then tweaking and adjusting one thing at a time, and then observing. And, keeping a diary can help you isolate some of these things. See, Barrett says, Genevieve, I did your express shoulder opener after my arm day. Love your classes. Thanks for the fantastic work on them. Namaste. Awesome. That's fantastic. Genevieve, I've been super swollen over here. All right, fine. I'll allow it. Super focused, but back to filming yoga on Friday. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Logan, Papa Swole, another question for you. I tweaked my shoulder lifting. Should I stop with the clubs or will they help with the recovery? #GetSwole Papa for Prez. Respect. It depends on how it feels. You might have a tweak or you might have like a kind of a twinge or something, but like the club makes it feel good. I can't really answer that for you. Generally, if you have pain, you want to avoid it. So you would only know if you do like a light club and it feels fine. It might help loosen up. It might aggravate it more. Just because you're swinging and you don't feel anything doesn't mean it's not aggravating it, but you'll know. You'll know if you swing and you're like, ooh, that hurts, then don't do it. So I can't really tell you because I've done that when I had tendonitis and I was swinging and it kind of bothered me, but I know the kinesiology, I know the movement that I'm doing and the reason why I'm doing it, and it worked and it was fantastic. So it probably would help it as long as you don't swing a really heavy club. That makes a big difference too. Like if I had, this little issue or like I tweaked something in my forearms, I'm not going to pick up like a 30-pound club and try to yank it around, right? So like a 5-pound club, really light, can help with decompression of the shoulder and the elbow and the wrist. Okay. Let's see. Alan, good morning, Beaches. Had a yin day from the Telegram chat. Funny story, not funny though. Last week I took off to allow my elbow to heal, 7 days. Elbow is okay. Sunday I did legs volume day. I am way more sore than I should be. Like I haven't lifted in 6 months. Don't understand how 1 week did that. You did volume. You took 7 days, at least 7 days off from your last leg workout. It's normal to get sore. Could be nutrition too. Could be you did more volume than you normally do. You also don't need that much volume. You don't need a lot of volume if your intensity is high. Like for legs, I've been splitting up my leg days into a quad day and then a glute and hamstring day. So for quads, I'll do like the actual quad sets. I mean, I did a couple sets of adductor and abductor, but like quad focus, I did like 4 sets, 5 sets. So it depends on your intensity and how hard you train. But the harder you train, when I say hard, it's not your perception of hard, but it's how intense you train to your maximum capacity. In terms of training to failure, you don't need as much volume, so you could have just done too much. Common, especially when you are repairing completely. So it's different. So if you're normally broken down, if you're normally not fully repaired, then you're used to being sore and fatigued all the time. If you heal completely, so if you are allowing your body to get back to that rested state, and then super compensate, you allow your body to super compensate and to build the tissue, and then you crush it again. So when you're training at 100, when you're 100% and you're training hard, you're going to do more damage. Think about it. You're going to do more damage. You're more recovered. So the damage you're doing is more damage relative to complete recovery. Also, if you're 100%, you're going to be putting out a lot more intensity. You have much more capacity to train super hard. So you're doing more, you're lifting more weight, you're pushing yourself closer to failure, you're training more intensely, and you were completely recovered. So also the perspective from being completely recovered to training super hard. So if you're completely recovered, it's very easy to train harder than you normally did because you're actually fully recovered. Maybe you need to adjust your programming. I'm not sure what programming you're doing. I would look into Maximum Swole though. Frank, Papa Swole, I want to focus on strength gains instead of aesthetics. You mean AE aesthetics? I think that's like aesthetics. That's like doing your eyebrows. Like an esthetician or something. What split rep recommendation would you give? Lifting 3 days a week. Strength gains instead of aesthetics. I mean, I think you should be focusing on both. People look at people like why? The reason why I say that is people think about aesthetics as if it's like only relative to like, oh, this is just how the person looks. How you look is also going to relate to your strength too, because if you don't have certain muscle development, you're going to be compromising your joints. And I'm not saying like everyone's muscle size and strength is different, but if you're a well-balanced individual, even for strength, you're going to be looking proportionate. So aesthetics is proportions. It's not ignoring certain body parts. But what split and rep recommendation? I mean, Maximum Swole is great. You stick to the basic lifts. In other words, you might not be doing single joint movements. You might not be breaking down things. You might not be breaking down doing bicep curls, for example. You might just be doing macro lifts. So rep recommendation 5 to 10. I mean, pretty much Maximum Swole, you're maximizing strength and you're adjusting the volume based on what works best for you for hypertrophy. Because there is a point where volume becomes less effective, but you do want volume to a point. So how much volume, how many sets in a given week is a range. That's the common trap, Matt. That's a common trap. I don't think you gave it enough time, honestly. I switched from max swole to swole season. I'm not lifting every day. I'm still doing at least 2 active recovery days in between each lifting session. I just felt like my workouts needed more volume. That's the trap. You probably just weren't training hard enough, and psychologically it's harder to focus on. I mean, if you switched already, you didn't give it its full due. just to be honest with you. And you can do another set. So you can do, if you're doing, just add another set with the same program. Just only add one set for an exercise. Like if you're if the workout is like 4 sets or 5 sets or 4 exercises, 1 set, you can add 1 set. Because if you're doing 4 sets, you add 1 set, that's a 25% increase in volume. If you go from 4 sets at high intensity, like all out, to 6 sets, you're increasing your volume by 50%. That's a massive increase. So if so that's the way you have to think about it. So you can increase your volume with Maximum Swole. That's just the foundation. Because if I put 1 to 2, people are just going to do 2 sets. If I put 1 to 2 for everything, that's why in like the notes and stuff, it says you can add a set. But if I put 1 to 2 in those sets, people are just going to do 2 sets because people default to thinking more is better. So I put 1 so people just try to focus on doing 1. For me, psychologically, it's more freeing to do 1, to know that I'm doing 1 set, and that's my choice. But you only want to do 1 set for the entire workout. Because, for example, if you're doing for chest, you're doing 4 exercises to failure, 4 sets, 1 set each, 1 or 2 warm-up sets, because you might be doing three warm-up sets for the first one. But remember, so let's say you're doing, Matt, let's say you're doing a chest workout, right? Let's say you're doing the Maximum Swole and it's 4 exercises, 1 set each, right? So it's 4 sets. For the first exercise, you might be doing 3 warm-up sets. Now for me, if I'm doing chest, I'm not doing 3 warm-up sets of like 10, 15 reps. I'll do like very light and I'll do like, maybe 5 or 6 reps. Then I'll put on, let's say 135 or whatever. And let's say I'm doing like the Smith machine or something. And then I'm just using the numbers that people can correlate with. I might do like 3 reps. Then I might put on 225 and then do like 1 or 2 reps. I'm not fatiguing myself. I'm just priming myself. Like I did my warm up. I made sure that whatever your warm up is, do a swollen 7 mobility. I swing the club a little bit. I do a dead hang and like swing the club a little bit to warm up my shoulders and stuff. That gets me loose and blood flowing. And I'm just priming myself as much as necessary so I can train hard without getting injured. That's my goal. I don't want to take any fatigue away from me. That's going to limit my ability to put all my energy. I don't want to take away 5% of my strength and power, whatever, for my session in my warm-up, right? My warm-up is a primer. So think of it as primer, not a warm-up. Because people think of warm-up as like, I need to sweat. I need to be hot and sweaty. And then they just do cardio for half an hour and then they're exhausted before they train. So, and then I'll do my first set. But if I'm doing other sets for chest right after, so the next exercise, I might do 1 warm-up set, just like, okay, put the weight on, do like 1 rep or 2, like, okay, cool. And then put on the weight. I'm already warmed up. Like I'm already warmed up and I already did a maximum set for, let's say, an incline press. So then if I go to a flat press, I might just get a primer. Yeah, it's really like a primer. Okay, what weight am I going to be using? What I do last time? And then, okay, I feel really good. Let me put on a 2.5. Let me put on a 5, whatever it is. But you're already warmed. Like you don't need to do like a warm-up set and get like a pump. You just need to fucking go. So it's really like the science and the art of preparing yourself to not fatigue yourself and knowing how that works. And again, remember the point of Maximum Swole, Matt, and I appreciate you brought this up. I respect the fact that you wanted, but there's that, I still have it. There's that tendency to want to go back to the higher volume. Higher volume can work. The fatigue is challenging. So what you do with Maximum Swole is you start with 1 set. And then, hey, let's say you're trying to work, if you're doing chest, generally most people should be starting with an incline movement. Okay. So you want to add a set to your work. You want to add a little more volume. So do 2 sets for that first incline movement, 2 all out sets, and then go into your other movements. Add 1 set. And then the next time, like, hey, how did I feel? Did I feel more sore? And you can't go by soreness, but again, you're checking to make sure that you're improving in weight or reps, on a consistent basis. And for me personally, I have found for now that the proper range for me is about 4 to 6 sets per body part. If it's arms, if it's biceps or triceps, if it's biceps, maybe 4 sets. It's still the same. I like to do 4 sets because I like to put the effort in, but I also like to recover quickly so I can hit it again because I could hit these muscles again probably in 3 or 4 days or in 7 days. It could take longer, it could take shorter, but I can hit them more frequently. It gives me more dynamic nature. It also depends on what you're trying to work on, what your weak points are. But when I did 8 sets, so I tried doing 2 sets for each exercise, the workout was a lot more fatiguing. I caused a lot more damage. I didn't, and plus for me, I want to be able to do the workout. I want to feel like I did enough. I want to have the feeling that I did enough volume. And I also didn't want to, didn't want to like be training too long. I don't want the workout getting too long. So the more sets and more volume you do, the longer periods. Because if you're training to high intensity to failure, you're waiting 3, 4, 5 minutes between sets. It gets to be pretty long. So you have to find that nice balance. So start with the 1 set and then add a set to the entire workout, not do 1 extra set for each exercise. Okay. So think about the total sets. Start thinking about body parts as total sets. Forget everyone's thinking about like 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 10. Fuck that shit. How many sets total per body part in a given cycle, right? Probably between 4 and 12 or 4 and 16 sets. That's a lot. 16 sets a lot. So 4 and 10, 4 and 12 total sets in a given 7 or 10 day split. Because sometimes people might want to train it in 5 days. So then you can do, like if you're training more frequently, you could do four sets on this day and then train body part again and do another 2 sets or train 5 sets. Just got to find what works best for you in a given time split. Are you doing chest and triceps? Are you doing chest, shoulders, and triceps? Are you doing chest and biceps? Are you doing chest by itself and then doing calves and forearms and abs? It depends on the split. So what I do is I keep it a little bit more dynamic. I have my book and stuff like that, and I know which body parts that I'm prioritizing, and I prioritize those. So it's like, hey, I'm training today. When's the last time I trained my priority areas? Okay, I trained that. Okay, so it's time for this one, or it's not time for this one. Okay, and if it's not time to train any of those, or I haven't given enough rest, or I'm still a little sore, I'm tight, it's like, okay, so what will go in its place? So if I'm not training this, I'm not training that because those were all trained within the last 3 or 4 days, then maybe I'm doing like my posterior here. Okay, so I could do middle and posterior deltoid. I could do biceps, and I could start off with calves, or I'll save that for tomorrow. So I make sure that I'm training them frequently enough, and I see when the last time I trained these things. So it depends on what you're prioritizing, and whatever you're prioritizing, that should be the priority overall in your schedule. And then everything should revolve around that. All right. Everything should revolve around what you're trying to prioritize, and what you're trying to prioritize should be trained when you're the most recovered. It should be trained first in the workout. So if you're trying to bring up your calves, train it first whenever you train them. If you're trying to bring up your back or your chest, train that first, right? So don't do 3 upper body days in a row and then train your chest if that's something that you're trying to bring up. You know, have a rest day, or like an off day, do like active recovery and yoga and stuff like that. And then when you come back fresh, train the body part that you want to prioritize. You know what I'm saying? So those are ways that you can prioritize the body parts. So if you focus on that, is your split prioritizing what you're trying to address? Frank says, I want to move towards practical strength versus bodybuilding type of workouts. There's no such thing as, practical strength. It's all practical. Strength is strength. I know there's different types of strength, but practical, like don't think the functional training and functional strength, like that's just like marketing. Do you mean like deadlifts? Because a lot of things can be bodybuilding. Different people respond to different workouts. So what do you mean? You mean like just doing deadlifts? Deadlifts are great. Do you mean like lifting rocks, like strongman type stuff? I wouldn't say that's practical. So again, what do you mean? Just saying, what do you mean? And I'm not discounting what you want to do. I'm just being the 3-year-old, like, why? What are you trying to accomplish? Like, what do you mean by that? And then I can give you some better guidance or recommendations. Alan in the Telegram chat says, swole season, that makes sense because I did notice that I could feel the recovery and healing taking place in my legs. It was a strange sensation, like a million scabs. If you're super recovered, like I'm telling you, I get sore as fuck. I'm not training. Not every workout do I get the same type of soreness with Maximum Swole, but I get sore as fuck. And the reason is when you are 100 or as close as you can get to 100% recovered, your muscles are healed. They're healed, they repaired, and now they super compensate. You got a little stronger, built a little bit of muscle. When I go back to that same body part, let's say we're doing chest and I'm completely recovered. When I go 100%, guess what? I have 100% to give. When I'm going max intensity to failure, I'm stronger or I'm recovered and I'm adapted to the intense 100% to failure that I did the previous session 5 days ago, 7 days ago, 10 days ago, whatever it was. So I have the ability to go 100%. If I'm only recovered 70% and I'm still a little bit sore and I'm going back in the gym, how can I give it? I can give it 100% of 70%. How am I going to adapt? How am I going to grow? I'm causing fatigue. I'm causing damage. I'm breaking down the muscle that wasn't fully recovered. I can't create the stimulus that's going to get my body bigger. Or I'm not saying the muscles won't grow otherwise, but you're incurring a lot of damage and risking injury and fatigue and central nervous system fatigue. If you're recovering completely, you're able to train fucking hard. That's why. So like if I'm doing 250 pounds the previous week for 6 reps, and now I'm coming back and I'm doing 250 pounds for 8 reps, not only am I completely recovered, not only did I lift more than I did the previous time, I also did, like, what was that? From 6 reps to 8 reps, that's 33% increase in volume, in stress on my body. My muscle had experienced 250 for 6 reps. It's never experienced 250 for 8 reps. You know, and through the workout, like, you know, I'm going to be fucking sore. I'm going to be banged up. But it's also not the same as if I implemented a new exercise. So if you implement a new exercise, you're likely, that's why if you do something new for the first time, like if you say, hey, okay, I'm going to do this overhead tricep instead of the other ones I've been doing for a while, you don't necessarily want to do like partial reps and like absolute to complete brutal failure the first time you implement those new exercises, because you have that new shock stress and you can cause a lot of damage. So you have to find that balance. But when you're more recovered, when you're completely recovered, you can train really hard and do a lot more damage. Lawson Dawson, Papa Swole, if I'm doing a bicep and chest day, should I do all my chest workouts first or alternate between chest and biceps? Depends on what you're trying to prioritize. What's the priority? It goes back to what I was saying before with prioritizing body parts. Chest and biceps is great. I personally wouldn't do biceps before chest. Doing biceps before chest is going to negatively affect your chest because the biceps actually do shoulder flexion. So I personally would do the chest first and then do biceps after. That's a great combo. That's a great combo. I don't see the justification for doing biceps before chest. Unless your biceps are the weak point. And if your bicep, here's the thing, if your biceps are lagging overall, if that's like, I need to train my biceps are lagging behind everything, then you need to train biceps on its separate day or first in a workout. So if that's the case, let's say your chest is fucking jacked and your biceps are skinny as hell, then yeah, you could justify biceps first. There also might be a better split that you can do. You could probably do biceps before like shoulders or something like that, or, you know. Chris Richard. Chris Dick. I love it. All right. Chris Richard, Papa Swolio, have you seen the ads trend for products like Colon Broom? I've heard of Colon Broom because I laughed when I heard the name. It's like, it's just sweeping all the shit out your asshole. Drinking their powder and losing 25 plus pounds. I would be fine using a product for better gut health, but I see major problems down the road. Yeah. Well, these things just make you shit your brains out. You're shitting your fucking brains out. And you do have like 5 or 10 pounds of waste in your body at any time. Like, and you're pissing out water. You're flushing out fluids. You're not losing fat. People do that and be like, wow, I lost so much weight. It's like, yeah, if you shit your fucking kidney out your asshole, you're going to lose some weight. Oh my God, I lost 10 pounds. Yeah. And your spleen. So It's, amputate your leg and you'll lose 50 pounds. Don't recommend it. All right, let's wrap up. Let me see if I missed any questions that came through, and then we're gonna move on. Frank, Papa Soy want to lift heavy, but get overall. This is a follow up to the functional or the whatever you said for strength. Want to lift heavy and get better overall strength for my outdoor activities like hunting. Seems like bodybuilding programs focus on building muscle shape, not necessarily strength. Well, both strength and muscle have a lot of correlation, and muscle size have a lot of correlation. So yeah, I wouldn't say functional or what you mean. You just mean like more, it's sports specific. So outdoor activities like hunting, so maybe like sandbag work, right? You're carrying something, dragging, tire flips, You okay, buddy? The fuck was that? You guys hear that? So yeah, a sandbag work can be great. I know what you mean. I see what you mean. So those like specific, wearing a weighted vest and going hiking and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, so it depends on what kind of hunting you're doing and what you're doing. Like, sure, choose moves that will mimic that. You could do that as well. A lot of it is correlation too. So now I get it. That's just what you mean is sport specific, even though you might not consider that a sport. Of course, there's sport aspects of it, but in other words, like specific training. So that makes sense. That makes sense. Logan, how do you feel about GF9 growth hormone pills? I don't know anything about it. I saw them at GNC and did them for a month. Got my bench from 185 to 255. What are your thoughts on these types of things? I don't know what that is, but it's not growth hormone. I don't know what the fuck it is. I would not take any of that stuff because all that stuff's getting processed by your liver, and I don't know what, I just don't know what it is. So anything oral like that is very sketchy. It really is. I've never taken growth hormone, but I know you do. Like you pin like in like your waist or something like that. It's like subcutaneous. So I don't know what you were taking, but I personally would not do any kind of like pro hormone stuff orally because it taxes your organs like crazy. You'd have to get blood work and really know, but you're asking me, so I'd be like, my thoughts are I would never take any of that shit. Get some bull milk, bro. Get some bull milk. Cryonic 6112. Can you get rid of loose skin from losing weight by lifting? Not necessarily. It depends on how much loose skin you have. I couldn't tell you if they do. Most people, it's like, if it's extra skin, it's extra skin. It doesn't like get eaten up by muscle or anything like that. So it depends. Ooh, do not do that. Sheena says, I can't seem to fall asleep without taking a CBD, melatonin, and magnesium supplement. Altogether, I'm not a fan of melatonin. I think that stuff's sketchy as hell, unless you're dealing with jet lag. Sheena, I'm interested into other things that you're eating, the other things that you're exposing yourself to. Cold, dark room, completely blacked out. You shouldn't be able to see your hand in front of your face. Cold, 67 degrees or so. Evening routine, not eating too close to bed. Magnesium glycinate or threonate or maybe malate. I personally use glycinate. I've used threonate before. I would not take magnesium citrate unless you want to shit yourself at night. Magnesium citrate is going to blow out your asshole. I think that's what like Calm is. I used to recommend the product Calm, but I stopped after a while. I just stopped using it. Some people also can benefit from like a tablespoon of like raw honey, half an hour or so before bed. Some people that works and helps you sleep at night. Just some thoughts you can look into. All right. Let's see. Let's move into balls deep. That was great. Good questions, fam. Good questions.
That's deep.
It's all in the same supplement. CBD, melatonin, magnesium. Well, what kind of magnesium? Like theanine could be beneficial at night. But I take magnesium. I found some theanine in my drawer. So I was trying that. I've been sleeping great anyway. You want to make sure you're working on your physical habits and your routine before you start getting it into supplementation. Okay, we didn't talk about this before. We should have. We talked about the round table. And by the way, more people are here now. So, fam, head on into the Facebook group and submit your stories on the Swole Fam project. So, super awesome. More gorillas. If you haven't done so, it's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to reading your stories, and stay tuned. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming from that. So make sure you submit your story, all the details in the Facebook group in the pinned post. Swole Fam project has been relaunched, and I'm fucking amped. And by the way, so last week, I believe it was last week, we released Forest Pump. Awesome new design. Use code Daily Swole for 10% off. But yesterday, we released 2 new options. We got the college text Fuck Your Resolutions, which is pretty solid. It's Fuck Your Resolution season, fam, in 12 days. Or 11 days. October 1st. Can you believe it's Fuck Your Resolution season officially? And we also have the new Rick and Morty Go to the Fucking Gym. This one is... That's awesome.
He's on fire!
It's a great design. It's a great one. It's a great one. Check it out. papaswolio.com. You know what to do. Let's get into some balls deep content. We got a little time. Fam, let's see. Do we have any really short ones? That's what she said. Whoop. Ooh, what? Let's do... All right, let's do first day. It says... Fam, pick a number, 1 or 2. I'm going to start us off. This one's called First Day Bathroom.
What's in the box?
First Day Bathroom.
Today was my first day using the men's staff bathroom at school, and it's just so boring in there. The women have nice soap and plants, and it smells kind of like a waterfall. I asked one of my colleagues about it, and he said that's just the way that it is, that it's like boring to be a man. But guys, we don't have to accept that. I've been on the other side. There is another way. Colorless misery doesn't have to be a secondary sex characteristic. There's still time to make the little things delightful if you're only brave enough. A singular Glade plug-in is not going to make you a girl, I promise.
I don't work with the males, because I used to be one.
By the way, Glade plugins are absolute fucking garbage. Do not use a Glade plugin. Do not breathe in that trash. If you have any of that shit in your house, throw it out immediately. Okay. Cool. Thanks for working hard. Wherever you're working, I'm sure you're putting in a lot of great effort. Oh my God, the bathroom's so boring. Why are you spending so much time in the bathroom? Just go in there, pee or poo, and go back to work. Go back to work. Go back to work. All right. Matt the Great, number 2. Matt the Great, number 2.
Yow. Yow.
All right. We got a little church here, though.
Aww.
Churchy mama bear. Churchy Bishi. My sweet churchy.
Oh, my sweet Churchy, you're so cute.
Why don't you want to see me? No one's giving me any attention today. All right. Matt number 2. Matt number 2. This is called Woo Plus. What is that? Woo Plus. WOO. Woo Plus. Oh, I'm going to have to read this. Oh, all right. So... Oh, shit. I have to preface this. Oh, my God, Matt, what a gem. This one, there's text all over the screen. So this person did a screen record for an ad, I suppose. And this ad is called Woo Plus, WOOPLUS. And the ad says dating app for cur ... So I think it's like dating app for curvy people, AKA fat people. So it's like a fat app. And then this person did a screen record and put text all over the screen. So I don't know if there's sound. We're going to play it, but let me read it because people listening won't be able to read it. It says, stop doing this. Y'all are taking over fat spaces, fat terms, fat fucking acceptance. And for what? You're taking fat spaces. Isn't that ironic? You're taking fat spaces. We can't. You're taking all of it up. You know, I'm offended that you guys are taking up so much earth. What gives you the right to have so much more earth than me? Just think of all the oxygen, all the space. You take up so much more space than people that are healthy. How dare you use more oxygen? How dare you utilize more of this finite resource we call Earth? Okay, you're not curvy, you're not mid-size, you're not fat, you're not squishy. It's okay to be average / below average. If the straight-sized girlies aren't making you feel included, that's on them. You don't get to just change what plus size / fat / curvy means. You see how the left eats their own? You're never woke enough. You're never fat enough. You're never virtuous enough. If you do something about it, you're fat phobic yourself. If you're redefining something and it hurts one person's feelings, they're going to complain about it. In other words, this is just for pathetic people to try to get some kind of status by being more pathetic than someone else, I suppose. All right, let's watch this or listen to it or...
What's in the box?
Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows what's going to happen here? Woo plus.
Having a squishier girlfriend. For one, we usually know how to eat, which means our men are kept fed. We're also very cute and cuddly and can keep our partners warm. And growing up has taught me to have a really good sense of humor. But honestly, you would be surprised at how many guys actually appreciate a curvier body. And those guys tend to use Woo Plus for dating. Woo Plus is a dating app where curvy bodies can be appreciated. And you should be appreciated. The profiles are professionally checked, and you'll probably be surprised at how many there are. I highly recommend giving it a try and seeing who's on Woo Plus in your area. Download Woo Plus for free right here.
So I'll take the tea without the covert diabetes delivery mechanism, please.
Oh my God. What happens? I'm not a fan of what just happened. Good Lord. Sheena says, I remember thinking 10 years ago or so that if we kept catering to the offended, it would get out of control. And here we are. Here we are. Same reason why you don't give into a child's temper tantrums. Because if someone kicks and screams and you give them what they want, guess what's going to happen? They're going to do it again. They're going to do it again. Matt, go sit in the fucking corner. Go sit in the corner. Matt's in the corner. The chair of shame. The chair of shame.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
All right. Here we go. One more. This is called peer pressure to be thin. Goddamn right. Go to the fucking gym.
The peer pressure to be thin and the bullying that happens when you aren't pursuing thinness.
Is she crying? Whatever. I don't think the bullying is because you're morbidly obese. I mean, it might be because that's not even a chin. That's like I don't know what that is under. I don't know what anatomically that is. But those glasses are probably why people are making. That's probably where you're getting shame or bullied. If I ever put something like that on my face, if I ever went out in public like that or made a video like that, bullying would be par for the course. In my opinion, you probably should be bullied if you wear glasses like that. And this is not like, Papa Swole, you're making fun of someone that can't see. You're ableist. Look, I put contacts in too. I don't put these big fucking, I don't put these bee goggles on my face. I don't think those are prescription. Those are just retarded.
The peer pressure to be thin and the bullying that happens when you aren't pursuing thinness, that you're not a good fatty because you're not pursuing weight loss. That's one of the reasons why one of the many reasons why I didn't want to let go of my eating disorder.
What? That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to let go of my eating disorder. I just wanted to wear these fucking glasses, and people kept on bullying me online. It made me cry. That's one of the many reasons why I didn't want to let go of my eating disorder. That's not. I was getting bullied. This reminds me of the fat bastard. It's like, I couldn't stop eating. And my neck looks like a vagina. All right. Okay.
That's one of the reasons why one of the many reasons why I didn't want to let go of my eating disorder, because at least with my eating disorder, I was trying to pursue thinness. Right, I was in that strict break, binge, restrict cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least I was trying it, and people will go, oh, like, you know, you're on any diet? It's like, oh, yeah, I am. You know, the diet of the week.
So you did it wrong.
But I was still pursuing thinness. The goal was thinness, even though what I was doing was so damaging to my mental health and my physical health.
How is it damaging to your mental and physical health? I'm just saying, like, what you did might have been, because we're not getting details or anything. But look, what if you just ate real food, exercised, got better sleep, removed all these toxins and endocrine disruptors from your environment, cut out the vegetable and seed oils and processed sugar and, you know, the gluten, the grains. Like, what if you did all that, got sunlight, you know, transformed your life? I'm not saying it's easy, but it's simple, you know? Like, what if you started doing all that? What if you got rid of all the body lotions and creams and toxins in your laundry soaps, bath soaps, shampoos, conditioners, lotions, perfumes, dishwashing, right? Hand sanitizers. Like, get rid of all that shit. Car scent bullshit things. I'm just saying, like, what if you did all those? Why would you have to pursue thinness? Why don't you just pursue being healthy and taking care of yourself? It'd come off. It would come off, but I can't stop eating.
And same when I have been successful in my weight loss. I did it in ways that irreparably damaged my internal organs. But it didn't matter because I was thin. That was the ultimate goal. And the fact that we promote thinness,
do we?
Regardless of the journey to get there,
do we?
No matter how damaging it is, not just damaging to ourselves, but damaging to our society, because we're
this is not what people do. No matter what it takes to get there, damage yourself. No, there's the omission of those things, but no one's saying that. No one's saying that. People make stupid choices to look a certain way because they don't love themselves and they're not raised well to have self-esteem and they're not raised with confidence and all these things. And yeah, it could still slip through the cracks, even if you have like solid parenting and a solid, you know, community growing up and role models and things like that. But that's what teachers and that's what, you know, again, this is what teachers and this is what role models should be there for. Not to indoctrinate kids, but to actually direct them on how to feel confident in themselves. That's why exercise, being outside, eating real food as a child, doing difficult things as a child and learning things that might be considered dangerous by today's standards, but gives people confidence and gives kids self-esteem, martial arts, all these different things that are not ubiquitous in, you know, in younger kids. You give them discipline, you give them self-esteem, they'll find it in places. You got to give them opportunities to find it in different places. But anyway, look, anytime, and I don't know what her issues are or her organ damage or whatever she's saying. A lot of people say these things. They just say it. I don't know. Maybe she does have these types of things. But look, if you do things properly and you do things with the right approach, like you're not going to have those problems. Yeah, if you do some stupid restriction thing and starve yourself to death and then binge eat, yeah, of course. It's like if I take a knife and jam it into a tire, it's probably going to get flat. I'm not surprised by that. And yeah, then I'm going to have to go and take it and then I'm creating work for myself. It's like, hey, let me get less air in this tire. Oh shit, now I can't drive it. Well, then now you got to get it replaced and go get it fixed. And yeah, you didn't have to slash it. You could just let a little air out. You know what I mean?
We're taking well-needed medicines away from people who genuinely need them to something that's just a byproduct is insane. And yet it's so normalized. What? So the fact that people come on here and say that I'm glamorizing obesity, or like my fellow fat friends who are content creators saying that they're glamorizing obesity or encouraging people being fat, not in the same way that there is peer pressure to be thin. Peer pressure to be thin and pursue thinness by any means necessary.
It's not really what...
Thanks for coming to my sleepover talk.
Ugh. So you're not glamorizing fat, but your screen name is Queen Beast Says. Queen Beast. Look, all these people that say they're not glamorizing obesity, but then they talk about how pursuing thinness has been any ways possible. All right, like you're just maybe not directly saying being fat is great, but you're pretty much saying that you're taking one extreme aspect of getting thin by any means possible. That is a stupid fucking concept. So don't do that. Get thin by any means possible. How about approach things properly and the weight loss will happen? You don't have to do it like, I'm going to get thin by any means necessary. I'm going to kill myself to get thin. No one's saying that. People are susceptible to marketing. We know that. People are also susceptible to anything that is said on TV or in the news or in the media. We know that. People inject shit into their fucking arms because, oh, this must be good. Someone told me to do it. Okay. So, yeah, you're shocked that people buy into, I need to do something terrible. We've all taken like a fat burner at some point. I took one for a day. It was stupid. I mean, I took one. I think it was a Fedra. This is back when it was legal. I forgot. Oh, fuck. What was it called? Time. Yeah, I think it was okay. Oh, I remember the name. Oh, I just remembered. I don't even know. Did they still make it? This was like 2001. So, you know, this is like back when before. I Google it. It says steroid.com forums. Ooh, Daily Press. Ephedrine abuse killer. It's got to be a discussion board. Hold on a second. Oh, from 2002. Anyway, so this is like when, like I say, people make mistakes. Like they're thin, they need to put on muscle. So people are like, I want to get big and ripped. So they take like a fat burner. So I bought one. No, I bought one, and it was called Thermocore CRT. And CRT was called CRT for like controlled release technology. And I remember it was because like, oh, it breaks down and like it'll release like whatever it was every like 2 or 3 hours or whatever it was. So this is literally like 2001. It's like 22 years ago. So I remember I took it and or whatever. And I remember, I don't know if it took 2 hours to start. I forget, but I had a timer on my watch to be like, oh, like just to see like, oh, it says like every like 2 hours or whatever, it will like release like, oh, so it would give you like a consistent burn, right? It would like release, right? So then what I did was I had my my watch, and like at around 2 hours or so, all of a sudden I felt like this warm, like this weird like tingle like go over my entire body. It was like, and like my heart, I was like, what the fuck was that? And I never took another pill or whatever it was. I did it one day and I was like, what the fuck was that? I'm like, nope, not doing this to my body. So I just remember that product. I was trying to find a picture. Yeah, and this other post, this must have gotten banned like pretty soon after. This is from 2001. All right, I was looking up trying to Google it. Gross. Yeah, I wouldn't take any of those things. You don't need any of that. Yeah, all the Hydrocut or Xenadrine, like all that stuff's shit. All that stuff's trash. It's such trash. So dangerous. Okay, let's do a swole card, and then we'll give away the swole card, and then we will do a throwback. So hashtag get swole. Some of you dropped it already. Let's do it. We got a winner. It is our noob? Is that our noob Leslie? Is that our noob Leslie? Congratulations. Is that our Wrangler nurse? Well, that works out perfectly. Is that you? It is. It is. Leslie, congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous. It is. Support@swolenormous.com, swole card 2692 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. Fantabulous. It is you. Well, that works out fantastically. Congratulations. I'm waiting in the comments. Fucking rigged.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Congratulations, Leslie. Good luck on that tattoo, on that arm sleeve. Make sure you really want it, though. There's no turning back.
I have contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves! Begone, vile man! Begone from me!
Loud noises! I am the danger. Shut up, bitch!
Sounds pretty rigged. Welcome to the Rigcast. The Rigged Cast.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next. I do my own soundboards.
There's Tiny Tuck, Typical Tuck, Total Tuck, and the Tyrannical Tuck.
Come on, man.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn!
Little BH? Little...
The Almighty says, don't change the subject, just answer the fucking question.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
Zero hands. Coast to coast. Nailed it again. All right. Golf clap. Just let one flee. Pardon me. Fam, let's get into the throwback. Ooh. Is that your first request? Leslie says, any sounds from Jaws? Oh, do I ever have one?
You know the thing about a shark, he's got lifeless eyes. Black eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Yeah, do I ever. I love one of those requests. Like, I got that. I got everything on tap. I got it. It's like World of Beer or something like that. You just got like thousands of different. Let me check in the back for you. Let me check in the back. All right, throwback time. TBT. All right, throwback. What we got? What we got for him, fam? Ooh, this one's gnarly. I think this fits directly what we're talking about today.
No, break it. It's fine.
I'm scared. Let me tell you the reason why we're scared is because of internalized fat phobia.
That's not a real thing.
All right, internalized fat phobia, if that's even a real thing, which is not, I'd rather have that than external fat.
Okay, so all of my life I've been told I was fat.
And why do you think that is?
And it wasn't until I got to like the age I am now that I realized I was never really fat as a kid.
You keep telling yourself that.
Don't get me twisted, I was chunky, okay?
Chunky is a nice name for fat. You weren't raised properly. Your parents didn't feed you properly and take care of your health and teach you good habits. That's sad.
sad. That's fucking sad.
This is what I have to say to all the people scared to sit on their partner's lap. Sit on that lap. Let him take that weight.
Ew, let him take that weight? God, shows you don't care about yourself or your partner. Oh, let him take that, girl. Let him take that weight. Let him take that weight, girl. Let him take that weight. Oh, let him take that weight. That's gnarly. That's gnarly, fam. That's super gnarl. Super gnarl. All right. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for 2693 Wednesday. Remember, Thursday we have the we have Roundtable 52 on Thursday. Join us, swolenormousx.com. We got a couple other things to talk about. We got P3S8 on the 27th. We got a lot of announcements. swolenormousx.com/signature. Go over there, open the browser up, and you'll see the countdown timer. But even most importantly, today, go into the Facebook group if you're a member and log in and go to the pinned post and submit your story and pictures for the Swole Fam project. You don't have to submit pictures. That helps tremendously, but tell us your story. Lay into it. Give us the whole thing. If you want to type out a notepad and you really want to give us a whole big thing and really structure it, that's fine. But tell us your story, just like these Swole Fam posts, like your intro post, but kind of give like a summary to this point. Those of you that are that have had positive changes from the elimination diet, from anything. Tell us your story. You'll see the questions that are asked in the Swole Fam project post, pinned to the top of the Facebook group. That's a big deal. So go and fill that out. Can't wait to read your story, and there's a lot more to come with that. So Swole Fam project in the Facebook group. Go and check it out. And thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for 2693. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I gift rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no ollies, you children popping.